Wyoming Senator John Barrasso is chairman of the Senate Republican Policy Committee. And, sir, welcome back here.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
To America's Newsroom. I appreciate your time today. I know the president's budget is embargoed for another hour, but I know you've had a glimpse at that. Based on what you have seen, will it fly?
I think it's not going to fly, Bill. The president's previous budgets have not garnered many votes on Capitol Hill. You know, my concerns are that the president is going to miss a great opportunity to deal with the critical issues of our country, our debt, our deficit, entitlement reform. I think he's missing out on all of those things. Let's face it, the bottom line is this president likes his government supersized. This budget will never balance, and I think the president just wants taxpayers to pay more so that Washington can spend more.
Well, what I read is that he's asking for millions of dollars in new spending. Does that go anywhere?
I think it doesn't. I think last time he had a budget, not even any of the Democrats voted for it. And his policies, I think, are making it actually harder to get people back to work and are hurting the economy.
I'm looking at this debt clock. What's it, 17.2, 17.3 trillion? Sorry, 17.4, my bad. It went up a number in a day. I mean, that's ridiculous. And if you think about it right now, in 3 years from now, at the end of this second term, you're going to be where, 19 trillion? Well, we'll be about $20 trillion. How is that acceptable to anybody trying to balance a book in Washington, D.C.?
What we're going to see, Bill, is that the fastest growing part of the budget is actually interest on our debt. The president has added over $6.9 trillion to the debt since he's been in office. So this continues to be a driving issue for our country. And, you know, we are not going to be able to sustain the safety net that we have in this country with this kind of debt and this kind of interest.
I get it. I understand. I think our viewers, frankly, are very loud and clear on it, too. They understand it as well. What are the Republican options?
Well, the options are to say, let's deal with the issues that we know will get people back to work. We have a health care law that is going to drain millions of people off of the payrolls. We have an energy policy that drives up energy costs and hurts our jobs. We have a tax policy that makes businesses close. We have a regulatory policy under this president that drives jobs overseas. All of those things we need to deal with to get our economy moving and to get people back to work.
Did you see what Paul Ryan had to say yesterday, talking about means testing the poor? I mean, he basically came out and said it effectively discourages poor families from trying to make more money because the less you make, the more Washington gives you. What do you think about that?
Well, we are a generous nation. We want to help people truly in need. We need a safety net so people don't fall through the cracks. So the question is, who do you help, for how much money, how long? But we shouldn't judge ourselves on how much money we put into a program. It's how many people you actually help. And, Bill, a job is so much tied to a person's identity, their dignity, their self-worth. I think it matters if we can actually get people back to work, and we don't want to entrap them in this safety net.
Well, you know, it's an election year, too, and the White House would argue that the president's proposal will give about $13 million Americans a tax cut. But give me a sense of the contrast that will be drawn based on the president's proposed budget and what Paul Ryan is talking about in Republicans.
Yeah, Paul Ryan's budget hasn't been released yet. We'll see that within the next month. It'll be a responsible budget. It will actually balance over time, is what I'm anticipating, and will be focused on actually helping people get back to work. Our problem is there aren't enough people working in this country. We're seeing the percentage of folks working continue to drop, and it's because of the policies of this administration. We need to grow the economy, and we need to get people back to work, and this will be a pro-growth budget.
Can you sell that message in an election year, midterms in November?
Well, I will tell you, I'd rather be in our position right now than the president's position with the upcoming elections. People are very concerned. I was in Wyoming over the weekend, very concerned about the health care law, about regulations, about what's happening with our energy policy. You know, you even have the president's former Secretary of Energy and Secretary of Interior saying the president ought to approve the Keystone XL pipeline. There are things we could do to get this economy moving, and the president, I believe, is taking it in the wrong direction. The American people see that. The president's popularity rate is way down. People view him as not competent and not trustworthy, and you don't want that with any president, Bill.
Senator, thank you for your time. John Barrasso is a Republican from Wyoming. They are pretty much a contrast in ideas, and we'll see which one the American people buy. Thank you, Senator, from the Hill.
Thanks, Bill.
All right.